Now, in this video, we're going to be doing a taste testing of a 1-gallon batch of apple mead that I made 14 months ago. Now, there are actually 2 spoilers in this scene. And with that being said, hi, I'm Charles and welcome to DIY Fermentation, your site for doing fermentation on a shoestring budget. Now, at the onset, I should point out that I had had the opportunity already to taste this mead. This was last month. I had used the 1-gallon batch in my mead pasteurization video, which allowed me to basically pasteurize a 1-gallon batch of mead and to remove all of the sediment that occurs when you back sweeten using honey. That process actually worked out very well. The wine is, or rather mead rather, is perfectly clear in the bottle. And it's a process that I'll continue to use going forward when I'm pasteurizing my meads. Now, the downside of that is that you do tend to lose a little bit, okay, because of the sediment that's sitting at the bottom of the carboy. It was not quite enough to fill the entire last bottle, the 5th bottle. It would have been enough to fill one of the smaller Otis type pressure bottles, but I decided to go ahead and see what the result of my creation would be, and decided to go ahead and give it a taste. And as a result of that, it now turns out that I now have a new favorite. Okay, not a favorite mead, but a new overall favorite. Hence the spoilers. This is a 2-gallon batch that I currently have in the works now because 5 bottles is just not enough. And I decided to dress up my bottles with caps and the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, 5 bottles that I have remaining is going to go something like this. 1 bottle for today's testing, 1 bottle as a gift, 1 bottle for my son, which leaves me 1 bottle left, which is not quite enough, hence making a 2-gallon batch next time. All right, with that having been said, we can now go ahead and begin our tasting. Let's see if 1 month additional time has improved it any more than it already has. Let me get these out the way. I'm kind of hesitant to open this because I'd better save it, but I'm going to do this for you. By the way, I did order a waiter's key to do my bottle openings in the future. Well, not all of them, but I've bowed to pressure from my significant other, and I've decided to go ahead and buy one. Way. All right. Initial observations. 1, there is no sediment in the bottle at all. So that pasteurization process worked very well. I'll just pour a very small sample for the camera because when this video is over, I'm killing the rest of this bottle. It has nice body. It's not a thin wine. Oh, which reminds me, before I get into all of that, I'm sorry, thin mead. I'm going to make that mistake from time to time. Just bear with me. All right. AVB ended up at 13.13%, which is, I think, where I really like to have my wines and meads, the level at which I'd like to have it. This was pasteurized once again, starting with a very small sample, whilst I act like I know what I'm doing. Again, it's very clear. What you get from the nose is the honey is forward. Followed by the alcohol. And not so much of the apple. The thing I like about meads overall, since I started making them, is that meads have generally a smooth finish. They do. And at 14 months, this has a smooth finish. There was one adjustment that I made to the original recipe after I did the tasting. Well, it wasn't after I tasted it. This is the tasting. And that was to reduce the amount of acidity. I think in the original recipe, I used half a lemon for a 1 gallon batch. In this batch here, I used half a lemon for a 2 gallon batch. And I think that should bring the acidity right to where it needs to be. Or where I like it, at least anyway. There's just a tiny little bit of harshness at the back end at 14 months. I think I'm getting to the point now where even though I'm recommending 12 months as a good starting point, an average amount of time to wait for your wines and meads to be drinkable, I think I'm now getting to the point where I'm thinking now 15, 16 months or more to have something that's really an outstanding mead or wine. It all comes down to are you able to wait for it? And one of the advantages of doing a 1 gallon batch is that you get to try different things to find out what does and what does not work. And when you do find something that does work, minor tweaking aside, you can then start doing larger batches. Again, I can max out at 3 gallons with this. But again, I also don't have a whole lot of space to make 5, 6, on upwards gallons of wines and meads. But again, I liked it to the point where this has now become my new favorite, to the point where I'm now making multiple gallons of it at a time. Slight acidity issues aside, which I've corrected. Oh, which reminds me, again, when I do make the corrections in all of my tastings, whether at the 6-month, which I no longer do, or the 12-month tastings, I usually go back to the original video or the description section of the original video where I have the listing of ingredients. And I usually make the adjustments there. And you'll know that I made the adjustments because it will say modified by the date. And I'll have the date that I made the modifications to that particular ingredient. And in this particular original video, you'll just simply say that the amount of lemon or lemon juice was simply reduced by half to make this mead on point. Again, very simple video. I don't know really what else to say because there was really not very much that was wrong with this particular mead. I can't say that I am glad that I finally managed to get this channel into making a number of meads so that I can find out what I do and what I don't like. I still like my very first original plain Jane mead, which I think I have one last bottle left. I'm holding on to that one for dear life. But no, that's all I'm going to say for this particular video. Apple mead, 14 months old, 13.13%. Minor adjustment in the acidity, and no, this is perfect. This is the one. This is the one that I'm going to give away. I really hate to give away my bottles. At least one of these will be given away as a gift. If I had a representation of what I do and wanted to let people try and see what it is that I do, this would probably be the one that I would have them start with, and then move on from there. So again, if you like what you see here, please click on the subscribe and notify buttons. Better yet, become a member. Better yet, become a Patreon. And I'll see you in the next videos throughout the coming year. See ya.